When we talk about consciousness, we often think of something mental, something to do with thought, as opposed to physicality. And this is a prejudice or a discrimination that we need to get beyond. We need to go beyond this discrimination. It's consciousness which gives us our sense of reality. It's consciousness which imbues this with a feeling that this is what is real right now. It's consciousness which gives us that sense of concreteness. It's consciousness which gives us that sense of physicality. It does this even when we're dreaming. It's consciousness in our dream which creates time, space, and a sense of materiality. The laws of physics might be somewhat different in our dreams, but the sense of reality that we've got in our dreams is at least as vivid and convincing as the one that we've got in our waking state. Consciousness is responsible for the sense of materiality in both these cases, which, if you've been following the previous couple of videos, you'll have been exposed to the possibility that there isn't actually any real distinction between waking and dreaming. This is one of these other discriminations that we make. When we look into it though, there doesn't seem to be any basis for that discrimination between waking and dreaming, between the waking state and the dream state. There is no materiality, either inside or outside, except the materialization of the wish or the notion of the infinite consciousness. It's not really a wish. It's no more a wish in the sense that a river wishes to flow from one place to the other. It's what's simply happening. And what is happening right now is that consciousness is imbuing what is happening with a sense of this is real. When the notion this is dream arises, that dream becomes real. But if there is a notion of doubt, the dream also takes on the characteristic of the doubt and becomes unreal. So when the notion this is dream arises, is that what happens? What happens when we come out of unconsciousness, out of deep sleep? Everything has a dream quality for a split second, as all these sense impressions, as all our memories once again come flooding in and assert themselves. And then we get a sense of identity, and a sense of location, a sense of the world around us. So at first it all seems quite dreamlike, and then it becomes our reality. But then there might be the notion of doubt later on. Maybe we've moved on to another thing, and we regard what's happened in the past as a dream, or as a memory. As soon as we've experienced something, it gradually takes on the status of a memory. We regard our memories as real, but they're not. They take on the same nature as dream, except we'll make the discrimination and say, oh, but that memory actually happened. Although there might be evidence to suggest that our memories are mistaken, or that we've got something called a false memory. But what is a memory? You might have a memory of having had a nice meal. Can you remember taste? Can you remember the taste of an apple? You might remember it in terms of certain impressions, like you might say you enjoyed the taste of that apple, or the apple was sour. You might remember it was juicy, it was wet. But can you actually remember the taste? It's like pain. You might have a memory of pain. But what's the memory of pain? It's a memory, perhaps, that it's something unpleasant. It's something that you don't want. It's something to be avoided. But the pain's actually gone, just as the taste of the apple has gone. How can you remember taste? How can you remember pain? Taste and pain are things which can only happen right now. A memory of a taste is not a taste. A memory of pain is not a pain. A memory can be painful, but that's a different thing. A painful memory is not the same as memory of pain, although we might like to identify them. We might want to make them the same, but they're not. So memories of experiences are just like ghosts of experiences, and they have no more substance than dreams do. So a memory is simply our idea of an experience, an idea of what has happened. A memory is unreal. It is possible that simultaneously with the dreamer may undergo experiences unrelated. That was perhaps a bit of a sidetrack, but I think it's an important point. It is possible that simultaneously with the dreamer may undergo experiences unrelated to the dream, but he attributes them to the dream itself. What's the point here then? I suppose the obvious one is that there might be things going on around the sleeper which will be incorporated into the dream. For example, perhaps there might be a leaky tap in the room where the dreamer is, and that could be interpreted in the dream as a ticking clock. Thus, by sheer coincidence, the world appearance which arises in consciousness undergoes some change sooner or later. It doesn't really matter what the reason for it is. It's all just happening in consciousness. We're going from one dream to another all the time.